Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Lisa coming to you from Tampa, Florida, here at Spectra Wellness as an internal medicine and integrative physician guiding patients through the current COVID-19 pandemic. I am so thrilled to have everybody join me. I have been really shifting these lives a bit, focusing on some real questions now that the world is getting a little bit stymied with some of the data coming out on this virus, some of questioning a lot of the actions that have been taken against the virus. If you missed my why session a couple of days ago, please check it out. I think we'll be posting it on Instagram shortly. And for today, what I wanted to do was bring up something super, super interesting to me, which is that the difference between the men and women in this virus. From the beginning, we noticed that there seemed to be a much higher propensity and number of men that were getting worse outcomes than women. And as this has played out, remember, any statistics that you hear, I want you guys to question them, because what's happening is everything needs to be questioned because the data is moving so fast. We're finally seeing numbers that we can track trends a little bit better. Where at the beginning, we were just having supposition, we were doing the best we could. I think that the lockdowns and the social distancing had to happen. I think we're now in a place that we all should be questioning it, as the data is showing that maybe the mark that they were suggesting and scared of is incorrect. So more on that later. But today, what I wanted to focus on was this difference between men and women. And one of the newest studies that just came out with numbers was that of pregnant women. So pregnant women that were getting screened had much higher, I think it was 90% of them that showed positive for the COVID-19 or the coronavirus were asymptomatic, 90%. So that number is very high and skewed towards somehow hormones, pregnancy hormones or female hormones being protective against developing COVID-19 and bad outcomes from this strain of coronavirus. When we take that, we have to step back and look and say, is this because of the pregnancy hormones themselves, which it would seem that would be the case. Maybe it is estrogen or progesterone, the two main predominantly female hormones. But I wanted to bring up the point that all of us need all of the hormones. So when we think of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, most people think estrogen and progesterone more just for women, and that men are more just only dependent upon testosterone. And it actually is not true. Men need estrogen. Women need testosterone, and it's for many different things in your body. So for example, testosterone is highly protective in men and women for your heart. Estrogen, we are starting to see and make more and more connections, seems to help your immune system. So there have been studies in the past where they've seen that men with lower estrogen levels may have a slightly increased risk of certain viruses and bad outcomes with them. So that may be what we're seeing with this current 2-to-1 bad outcome men to women with COVID-19, and why this high percentage of pregnant women are asymptomatic. So I thought that was interesting. I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to dive into a quick concept that's a little bit more on the spiritual side of masculine and feminine energies. So just like we all have all of the hormones, we all have certain traits that in the past have been deemed more of a masculine energy versus a feminine energy. So typical masculine energies: logic, reason, action, strength. Typical feminine energies: intuition, connection, empathy, gentleness, healing. And our goal right now, and I think that this virus and this pandemic is helping us understand this more. So it's one of the things I'm actually thankful for this moment in time, is that for too long we have been steeped in a patriarchal masculine energy. You can look for 2,000 years even, on how that energy has ruled kingdoms and the killing, the pillage, the control over systems. And even today, you look in their published studies, medical clinical trials still heavily geared towards men. It's been a slow progression that women are coming back into balance and feminine energy. By women and men, that's not even the right word. I'm talking about these traits. We all have them, and we all need more balance. So if you're a female who tends to be really tough, really connected to your gentleness, your healing, your intuition, your empathy, you may need to start being a little bit more verbal, have more action, do things so that you can get your voice heard. If you are someone who has more masculine predominant traits, like logic and rational, and you are in action, I'm going to go get this done, that's fantastic as well. But maybe you need to look inside, take this downtime, and find a little bit more of your intuition, your empathy, your connection. This balance is what's going to help us end this virus. It's going to help us move forward, heal our bodies, lead with love instead of fear. So take the time, maybe do another little exercise today. Outline masculine and feminine traits that you have and try to see where you may be more balanced versus needing to work on some things. And you can drop me a message below. I'm happy to give you some exercises on maybe how to work on amplifying either one of those masculine and feminine sides. And understand that just like physiologically, where we know men and women both need all of our hormones, and we are seeing differences in even this COVID-19 pandemic between men and women, just like that, we need both sets of these energetic and spiritual traits. So I'm going to end today with an affirmation. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. I will be studying up on the science so that I can provide lots of great information for you next week. Thank you for sharing these videos. I appreciate that as well. And how I'd like to end is with this quick affirmation. I embrace all of my divine feminine and masculine traits so that I can be fully in balance. I embrace all of my feminine and masculine traits so that I can be fully in balance. In balance comes healing. In balance comes love. When we are in balance, there is no room for control or fear. Take care, guys. See you next week.